Guys, I know it's Friday, so I'm going to try to do a video, but I kind of forgot something, and now I'm trying to play catch up, and so I'm not sure I have a video topic. What I forgot was I've been playing with the Predator balls here on my home table. Um, they are very similar to the Aramis, but they are not the same. A few years ago, Diamond switched to Cyclops balls for the Derby City Classic. They're quite different from Aramis. But I bought the Cyclops, and that's what I played with down here. And I would carry a set to the local pool hall when I was going to play there. Now Diamond has gone back to Aramis. I have some Aramis, but I hadn't put them on my table yet until about 3 hours ago. If anybody has played with the different sets of balls, Cyclops, Predator, and Aramis, I consider the Predator to be about halfway between Cyclops and Aramis as far as composition and stuff like that. One of the things about the Aramis balls is that I bank balls fairly firmly, and I will get a black mark on an Aramis ball just by shooting the ball in enough times. I will get a black mark off of the pocket. Never happened ever with the Cyclops. Happened very rarely with the Predators. And of course that can affect things like the dreaded skid and all that stuff. But anyway, so I put these Aramis Super Pros back on on my table, and I'm going to play with them. This 8-ball tournament I have coming up here in a couple weeks is also going to be on the Aramis. They're pretty crappy Aramis, but they're still not Predators. So I'm just going to try to get used to them, and that's what I forgot. The thing that I thought I would attempt to discuss was one of the issues that I've always had, and I've always been aware of it, is that I have a certain speed that I'm most accurate at a certain speed in shooting a shot. That certain speed is my bank pool firm speed. It's hitting the balls firmly. I am more accurate at that speed than I am slamming the ball even harder or slow rolling the ball even harder. I've talked in the past, maybe not on YouTube, about just working on hitting the balls harder. Because sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to shoot the balls harder and get, mega draw or something like that, bust out a cluster, and hit them firmly. So I have worked on that a little bit. But one of the things I haven't really worked on, because I'm so horrible at them, is shooting balls softly. I've seen several times in my life people go, hey, if you want to work on your speed, on your do this and see how many times you can do this before the ball goes in the pocket. And the more the better. And I always thought it was this a little bit silly, because you don't do that in real life. If you play pool, you don't do that. What you do have to do at times is hit balls pocket speed. So that's what I'm proposing to myself to work on a little bit, just to get a little bit better than I am right now at hitting balls at slow speed. You have to have equipment that you trust, and I do pretty much trust this equipment. I try to do the same thing like at my pool hall. The balls would be taking all kinds of curved paths. But I can shoot this on this table at pocket speed, and it's going to roll more or less straight because of the balls at the table. But this is not the way that to play pool, or that I'm going to play pool, because there are things that you just can't do as far as shape goes. You need to vary your speeds, but one of the things that's been lacking for me has been accuracy at slow speeds. Hitting a ball at pocket speed and still being accurate about it. And so that's something that I want to work on. So if it ever comes up like in a real game, then I'll be just a little bit more prepared. Trying to hit these balls so they do that at pocket speed, like I said. And just gonna throw some out and just shoot them. I'm not trying to run the balls or run them in sequence or do really anything. I'm just trying to hit them basically the minimum possible speed to make the shot. Not even to get shape, but to make the shot. Because my arm does not move as accurately at this super slow speed. It doesn't move as accurately as it does at a firmer speed. I don't think that should be the case. I think if I'm going to call myself a decent pool player, I should be able to hit balls at almost any speed. If I'm physically capable of hitting a ball at that speed, I ought to be able to do it accurately. That makes sense? Probably does. So right now, these balls are all going in. This is not typical for me at this kind of a speed. And I'm not talking about, again, it's not because the table would roll off. It's because something happens with my alignment and I guess my stroke mechanics where it doesn't go as straight at a slow speed. I don't like that. I'm attempting right now to fix that. Minimum possible speed. If I was, I don't know, if I was insane and was going to try to cut the two down there, I couldn't slow roll. I'd still have to shoot the ball pretty damn hard. But that would be the minimum speed to get the two to just drop in. I'm not going to try to cut this two because, well, it doesn't want to freaking go. But I can bank it at slow speed. That's something I definitely hardly ever do, is bank balls at slow speed. Up here, when I'm down there playing one pocket, sometimes I'll do it. And that's been a weakness in my one pocket game. They're, fairly common shots in one pocket of things like this, back the ball back here at slow speed, because maybe there's more balls here and you're trying to hide behind them, get shape for them, whatever, so you hit this ball at slow speed. This has been one of my weaknesses. I can shoot this two at firm speed, at bank pull speed, and make it at a hell of a lot better success rate. But then the cue ball's flying around, and it may not be what I want to happen. Hitting it at slow speed is tough for me, and that's because my arm doesn't move as accurately at that slow speed. That one, I'm going to be 100% honest, and I always am. That one rolled off. This table and most tables, most diamond professionals, I should say, they get a little bit of a bowing effect along the short rails, to where a shot will not deviate towards this rail. It'll deviate out a little bit. And that's what that one did. And that's fine. I should be able to adjust for that. And, in one pocket, that might not have been any good. Let's say I'm faced with something like this. If I'm a top one pocket player and this is my pocket and I need 4 balls, I'm out right now. Almost all those guys they're out right now. Because A, this is an easy bank, and B, you're going to get shape. But for me, this is not an automatic thing for me. I can make the 14 if I want to shoot hard, but then the cue ball's shit probably up here somewhere. That's not ideal. If I shoot it soft, I lose that accuracy. It may even be I'm losing accuracy just in my alignment. So I'm going to get a little bit of different contact induced throw at a slower speed than I would get at a firmer speed. Which means I'm going to get a little bit different contact induced spin. at a different speed. The ball's going to shorten up a little bit less at a slower speed. So it could, in the case of this bank shot, it could also just be an alignment issue for me, a judgment error that I'm doing. So that was perfectly fine. If I could do that every time, I wouldn't be making this video, because I would have it not mastered, but I would have it to where I'm perfectly satisfied with it, with my slow speed accuracy. When I talk about minimum possible speed, this is going to be the last two shots that I shoot here. If I wanted to play shape, then I can't just pocket speed slow roll this 13 in. I have to hit a little bit harder because I have to draw back. You know, for what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about playing shape for the two necessarily. I'm talking about getting this motion to be as accurate as this motion. But in this case, I'm getting ready to end the video. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can draw back. But I don't want to draw back. I don't want to shoot hard, just a little bit below center, and draw back. I want to hit it soft and lower. I still want to try to do the minimum possible speed to make the ball and still get shape. And I may not do it. This is why I have a table on here to practice stuff that I'm not ideal at. I guess I can't argue with that too much. That's going to be this video. Just something that I'm messing with, along with trying to mess with getting used to 8-ball again, getting used to these aramith balls again. Is I know that is a weakness in my game, is shooting balls at slow speed and still being accurate. That is an absolute weakness. It has been for a long time. And I want someone to spend some time working on it. I'm not going to set aside a week and do nothing but that, but just every now and then mix things up a little bit with my practice, because I do get bored if all I do is practice banks or practice 8-ball like I've been doing. I get kind of bored. I start losing concentration. Doing this stuff at slow speed made me concentrate again, which is always a good thing, because I can always use the practice, that concentration exercise, the brain or whatever the hell you're doing, because I know concentration can be learned and improved. Anyway, that's not what I'm working on. The main thing I'm working on is just being accurate at slow speeds. So if any of you guys are having issues with stuff like that, I might recommend practice it. Just about like with anything. If you have anything you have an issue with, and you don't like that, you want to improve at it, it's not going to just magically happen. You're not going to buy something that's going to make it happen. You're not going to, get a piece of chalk or whatever. It's going to magically make something like that. You just have to work at it. And I feel like I'm being your mom, and I don't want to be anybody's mom. Bye, guys.